Ms. Debbie Moore. Just jump up here.
Okay, my name is Debbie Moore, and I'm with the Camp Kids program. And I asked you if I could talk to you all because for the last 2 years, the opioid abatement money has funded social and emotional intelligence education in the elementary schools, K through 5. And we've had some really good results. The first year I was in the classroom every other week, the health class in Karen Gray, establishing the program. And then instead of repeating that, we thought about writing narratives or stories that could marry reading with the thinking, the educational thinking we're trying to embed. Well, we took it one step further, and I got to partner with Nancy Spire's family engagement, and the books were taken home, and we had a contest. Who could read it the most? So they're not only reading it to themselves, they're reading it to brothers and sisters, grandmothers, parents, babysitters. Every time they would read this, and somebody would sign, we're really getting that education because they're reading it, the content over and over, and then parents. So our tentacles were a lot longer than me just being in the classroom because it went home. The thinking, educational thinking went home, and we engaged hundreds of families. So I was really, really happy about that, and I want to tell Boo, I want to show them what we're doing with the funding from the grant. So this year we did 2 books. This one was an introductory, and then this one was our last book that every student took home. Every student, over 1,000, 2,000 books went home. And we had really good participation. We had prizes, so there was motivation. But it's a little challenging. These are 2 new characters, Stewart and Stewart, to put 2 dogs with 2 thinking models. But we did it, and AI says this book is an absolute gift. So we're really proud about that. But this is just sort of a visual overview. I wanted to see the data. I want you to see what we were working on and what we're doing with the funding. That was real important to me for you all to know. Some of you know about me and Camp Kids, and some of you don't. Some of you have children who have come home talking about it, but some don't. So I wanted to say that. And how do you measure mindset? You can't give them a true-false test or multiple choice. So how do you know that you are actually having an impact on what they're thinking? Well, I started they would learn about my characters, the Camp Kids, and then they started drawing their own characters, which they are showing me their thinking. And this was all free will. I didn't even ask for this. Okay, am I done?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she brought a lot of those things for y'all to take home, I believe, or go look at afterwards. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry about that.
This is an AI assessment of why the Camp Kids is unique and valuable. The website has, you can click on the characters and it tells you what they teach the kids. The treasure map guide, you can tap on the islands and it tells you what they're going to learn on that particular island. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This time is 7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. If my stand, just the people in their location, call
Holy Father, as we assemble tonight, Lord, as our final scheduled meeting for this commission, Lord, I pray a blessing on each and every one of us here tonight. All those who's running again. For there may be some that make it back. For us who's retiring and getting off the commission, Lord. Some of those who may not get reelected, Father. I pray blessing, Lord. And I pray, Father, Lord, that you bless this county and this county government. Bless our troops, Lord, especially those in harm's way, Father. Keep your hand on them. Bless their families. Bless them in every way. In Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we'll ask the clerk for a roll call.
Slash Thomas. Brian Boomer.
Here.
Justin Booth.
Here.
Rick Joyner. Shane Cates.
Here.
Eric Watkins.
Here.
Terry Pitchu.
Here.
Dennis Gray.
Here.
Archie Pryor.
Here.
Melissa Fields. Here. Bradley Jones.
Here.
Clint Mathis.
Here.
Mark George.
Here.
Alexis Taylor.
Number 5 on your agenda is the approval of the agenda. From your current agenda, we did have a deletion. We have, I think it was number 13 on your original agenda. Y'all was deleted today. We're not simply finished with the policy yet. We thought we could be ready to do it on. We were finished with it, but we have some issues with it. Legal counsel and myself, we can go back to work on it a little bit before we introduce it. So I will accept the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Motion properly seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 6 is we're gonna honor the retired county commissioners tonight. A lot of years between all these guys. There's the proclamations, and we got one for each. Just saying thank you guys, appreciate y'all, appreciate each one of you that's retiring, and I think that's all what we aspire to do, come in and leave a mark on the county and go out, but that's my aspiration anyway, so, but thank you guys very much for doing what you did, and whereas County Commissioner Vince Gray was elected to the Stewart County Board of Commissioners representing Magistrate District 4 beginning September the 1st, 2010 and served through August the 31st, 2026, making a total of 16 years in Stewart County governmental services as a county commissioner. And whereas Commissioner Gray served his district and Stewart County faithfully and diligently and contributed immeasurably to the total deliberations of the Board of Commissioners. Whereas Commissioner Gray's departure from the county legislative body will be a loss to the citizens of Stewart County, and whereas it is appropriate that suitable recognition be made of his citizen who gave so much of himself in service to this community. Now therefore be it resolved by Stewart County Board of Commissioners assembled in regular business session on this 3rd day of August 2026, that by this proclamation we express our appreciation for Commissioner Gray's performance, that his achievements to date are noted and commended, and that best wishes are extended to him for the future. Vince Gray. Whereas County Commissioner Brian Teeber was elected to the Stewart County Board of Commissioners representing Magistrate District 1 beginning September 1, 2014 and served through August 31st, 2026, making a total of 12 years in Stewart County governmental services as a county commissioner. And whereas Commissioner Teeber served his district in Stewart County faithfully and diligently and contributed immersively to the total deliberations of the Board of County Commissioners. Whereas Commissioner Teeber's departure from the county legislative body will be a loss to the citizens of Stewart County, and whereas it is appropriate that suitable recognition be made of a citizen who gave so much of himself in service to this community. Now therefore be it resolved by the Stewart County Board of Commissioners assembled in regular business session on this 3rd day of August 2026, that by this proclamation we express our appreciation for Commissioner Teeber's performance, that his achievements to date are noted and commended, and that best wishes are extended to him for the future. Brian Teeber.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I don't know what this one's gonna say. Yeah. Whereas County Commissioner Ricky Joyner was elected to the Stewart County Board of Commissioners representing Magistrate District 2, beginning September the 1st, 2022, and served through August 31st, 26, making a total of 4 years in Stewart County Governmental Services as a county commissioner. And whereas Commissioner Joyner served his district and Stewart County faithfully and diligently and contributed immersively to the total deliberations of the Board of County Commissioners. Marcia, you did an excellent job. It's a lot of hard words.
I keep telling
You
you,
did that on purpose.
I don't have a college degree, but I do have a BS degree.
Whereas Commissioner Joyner's departure from the Stewart County Legislative Body will be a loss to the citizens of Stewart County. Whereas it is appropriate that suitable recognition be made of this citizen who gave so much of himself in service to his community. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Stewart County Board of Commissioners, assembled in regular business session on the 3rd day of August 2026, that by this proclamation we express our appreciation for Commissioner Joyner's performance, that his achievements to date are noted and commended, and that best wishes are extended to him for the future. Thank you, Rick. I'd just like to say again, thank you guys for your service. All right, let's go on to number 7 in tonight's meeting. That's the approval of minutes. Motion to approve, sir. Motion by Mr. Watkins, second by Mr. Cryer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Number 8 is the approval of the bi-monthly reports. We have questions, we'll get these guys up here. If not, we'll entertain a motion. Motion by Ms. Fields.
Aye.
By Mr. Jones. All in favor, say aye. Are there any opposed? Now we have the approval of notaries for number 9, guys. I'll be glad to take any of those out and vote on them separate if you would like, if there's any discussion. Motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Mathis, second by Mr. Booth. All in favor, say aye. Are there any opposed? Thank you. Number 10 on tonight's agenda is the proof of budget amendments, and we will ask Chairman Dortch to take that.
After some debate on a couple of issues, the committee approved the amendment. And with that said, I will make a motion to approve it.
Second. There's a motion by Mr. Dortch, seconded by Mr. Watkins. Are there any discussion on budget amendments tonight? If not, I will ask for a roll call vote.
Shane Cates,
Yes.
Eric Watkins,
Yes.
Terry Fitzhugh,
No.
Vince Gray,
Yes.
Archie Fryer,
Yes.
Melissa Fields, no. Bradley Jones,
Yes.
Clint Mathis,
Yes.
Mark Dortch,
Yes.
Alexis Taylor,
Yes.
Elijah Thomas,
Yes.
Brian Heber,
Yep.
Justin Booth,
Yes.
Rick Joyner.
Number 11 is for review only. If you have any questions, we'll get you answers to those. It is the county officials' annual reports as filed with the county court clerk. Is there any discussion on number 11? As it's review only, we'll move on to item number 12, and that's the Stewart County Trustees Investment Report. Fran is here if you have any questions. That's for review only also. We will move on to item number 13. That's the approval of surplus property. The surplus list is pretty large today. Stewart County Election Commission, we had to list it all on the back. So this is the last 2 pages in your agenda. If you'd like to pull any of that out or have discussion about it separately, feel free to speak up. Motion to approve by Mr. George.
Second.
Second by Mr. Booth. All in favor, say aye. Are there any opposed? Number 14 tonight is new business, and we do have a couple of new business items that came up in the last week or so. And Shane, you want to speak on the
Yes.
water district in Bumpus Mills?
Yeah, so a few months ago, we allocated some monies to from our water districts, and I'm gonna have to say this was on me. There was one in my own district I didn't even really think about, down in Loon Bay, and I didn't realize they was as, doing as much as they were doing. I knew it existed, I didn't realize it was to the point of what they've got going on until at the meeting group we had over in Bumpus Mills, the mayor and I went into some people from Loon Bay, and they were telling us about it. And I feel like that we might be able to help them out with it too, if they possible.
And you talking about the well that we put, that they want to do well. I have pretty bad feelings about that after driving through Loon Bay and looking around. I can drive through Indian Mound, look around, we got people living in campers and tar paper shacks. And they drive over there and buy a barrel of water off of Eric over there. And they want us to give money to drill a well. How about if we give money to these people who got to buy us water by the barrel? I don't see it. After driving through over there, looking at a clubhouse, looking at some of these houses that's in there and the properties, there's a lot of misfortunate people in this county that need help more than they do. That's my stand.
Well, I don't dispute that, but I'm trying to do the same thing you're trying to do.
I understand.
For the record, I drove through Indian Mound too.
Just for clarification, they're not asking to drill a well. They're asking to upgrade some of their pipes that are in the ground that's outdated, that's making them lose so much water, and that will allow them to make a little bit more profit. That will allow them to extend their lines. They're talking about a couple of master meters. They don't have meters on their system right now. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, they're exactly like Leatherwood. They're set up the same way, controlled by a governing body. They come off wells. The difference is that they come off 3 wells and they come off 7. There's less than 100 in Loon Bay. But I definitely agree with Shane. We allowed North Stewart. We don't know exactly what the water situation is there with the money yet. It's still being in works. Of course, nobody's got any money yet. It's still in our budget. In our 101. So, and they have best too. When we spoke to them originally, they had the 50,000. We give Leatherwood 50,000, but they don't have as many on their system. And we told Leatherwood, we're not going to give you what we give North Stewart's water district because you have considerably less people. And if we live by what we've already passed, we would come up with another figure other than the 50,000 to give them also because they are smaller as well. I don't know. What do y'all think? It's sure.
I was not aware that they were as public as a utility as they are. That's my fault. I apologize to them for that. But I did talk to them. There's a section of line in there that needs replacing really bad. It's going to cost about $20,000 to replace it. I'm like, just a figure. I know what's going on in Indian Mound. I've got a good friend over there that's having to haul water to his dry well out there, and I do feel for him. I wish we could pick some off. But like you said about Indian Mound, I'm looking out for them down there one day. That's who sent me over here. So.
And Commissioner Tinker, you'll remember about 5 years ago one night I sat here and looked back with you on this very issue to help people in your district.
What's the actual? You go bad for me, you went bad for the county.
We needed help that night, and I did.
The county the commission must agree, they all voted with me. With the exception of one that was her district. They all voted with me, so don't say you did it for me, you did it for the county.
I apologize, Commissioner.
However, this man called me too. He called me and we sat in the house for a while. And he mentioned them running off of 3 wells and they want to put a 4th in. He said he did mention the pipes, but he also mentioned putting a 4th well in. The very next day I got myself in my truck and I drove all through that every road. Round in circles, getting lost and everything else. And I drove dead ends, people's driveways. I drove it all. And then I drove back home to Indian Mountain, and I looked at our paper track.
I met with two of their board members, they just didn't speak to me about digging a well during that board meeting, or during that meeting that we had. So I'm not saying they're not digging where they want to, but if they put the money into infrastructure like they told me during the meeting, they will not have the money to dig a well. So, I mean, if you guys give them the full, I don't know what are y'all.
It's like everybody else's that got that money, that it's a reimbursement grant, that they gotta do it our way or they don't get the money.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it's a little bit different there.
Talking about engineering, so they have this.
Their billing out there is $500 a year. Where Leatherwood used to be like $30 a month. That's people who didn't live there, didn't, no matter what, you had to pay it. I guess the future of it was doing this, which I agree that all of it's like, how do we make them self-sufficient on their own later on? Now, I understand nobody wants to pay a lot of money in water bills, but to maintain these processes is pretty high. I have a well, I've had to put pumps in the years, not fun, it's a costly deal, but we have to basically look at the future of the next block. To look at the future of what's going to happen to developmental housing, but we're going to be back to the state we had a year ago. That's what we're going to. Are they looking at 200 houses going over there like Jubilee Mounds? They can build up. It's another problem.
I don't think there's any more room to build it.
That's what I
there is there.
Still several lots.
I did mention the potential number of new customers they could get. I don't remember what that was.
It wasn't very high.
It was not very high.
I remember it was in the 30s of excess lots that they had. And they want to be able to carry that water in the house. I think, coming from my seat, because I don't get a vote, I'll look at it two different ways. I look at it as we've helped North Stewart, and North Stewart is they haven't started their utility work. I hope they get down at Indian Mountain. We did help those guys out with impact money. This is TVA revenue, derivative money. It's not tax dollars. It's not any kind of, other than the fact that, you may or may not feel the TVA charges too much. I don't know, but this is impact money. It's where I would propose that we take it out of, if you guys decide to do it just the same as we did the other pot of money.
Is there a number amount they're at?
I think they wanted 50, but what do y'all?
They told me 40.
40? 40,000.
I mean, I'd like to see a business plan on that.
He quoted me as different phrase when we were talking.
What did you talk to?
It wasn't 40.
What was it?
He was wanting to drill another well, and he said something like 70 or something, 60, 70, yeah.
I never heard the price.
I talked to him also, he called me.
I don't think we could get it, that's a pretty high number, considering what we've already given.
I mean, I'll speak for Leatherwood, the reason why the mental map is there's an influx of people coming into Leatherwood. It's attached to those wells, the biggest concern that I heard from everybody who contacted me is what happens when we run out. Well, they were already having issues, without keeping up with the maintaining process. They did bring some sort of business plan of adding meters to these different sites. That's kind of what the one went to. It's not really going to drill the wells and add to it, but make sure data of the flow that they're getting out of the system now, protect the leaks and things like that. So where it's going, you get a holiday weekend, that's the biggest phone call I get out of that water system. I'm not unemployed. But I have 3 or 4 members in contact out of the board, plus constituents says, we can't take a shower. These are full-time taxpayers.
Look, there's really federal money out there to help improve water situation.
Terry, there is, but we walk a very fine line when we start helping these utilities, these public-private entities doing that. It's all right if we have the time and the money. I get that, but also go back to Mr. Deaver. I know families that are driving every day, or well, not every day, 3 days a week right now to get water, and he's literally in half a mile of the end of the line. So if the county government goes out and starts looking for those types of grants instead of the entities themselves, these entities have engineers that do that. I mean, I know North Stewart does, I know Leatherwood does, and I know, Blue Bay, they all have their engineers to do just that. I guess, yeah, the short answer is yes, there's money out there.
Well, I'm a, Eric, you're with North Carolina, right? Is there any federal grant?
I've been
in
told-
y'all line.
I have been told there is, but, I ain't seen much. The only thing we've seen is what the mayor promised, the county commission voted on, and we've got one person that was willing to do it our way, which was, we paid for the line, they put it in, and that was $12,000, and he hasn't got the state to approve his plan in months.
Yeah. So for, I mean, and also like as far as business plan, I know for our business plan, no, it was none of them presented a business plan. You guys countered with, you're not gonna give them the money until you see what it's gonna
That's right.
spend for an individual basis. So there's no money left, in Stewart County. So, it's out there, but we haven't paid anything out yet. And I don't know how far Leatherwood is. I haven't talked to them in the last few weeks. I don't know, maybe getting closer to presenting us with something for reimbursement. I don't know. Haven't heard from those guys in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But you guys made it very clear that you weren't gonna dish out any money until they come before you. So I mean, I don't know as far as, I think, I guess we're just here to allocate, I mean, it's just an allocation of funds.
This is, I'm gonna switch hats here just for a minute, but it's hard for people to come out there at North Stewart and get water. They got a good setup, but they gotta come during business hours to get it. Well, you know, they have to take off work to come and get it. Well, we're gonna fix it out there where they got it's kind of like a gas pump. You can go out there 24 hours a day and get your water and put it, it's like down here going to the car wash. You put your credit card or your debit card in there and pay for your water, and then you get it. You can come out there at night, weekend, whenever. And that's not coming out of this money. Utility district paying for that, so people can come and get the water in this situation.
I think, again, my opinion, I've interjected it a lot, but, we can say it's just the entity's business and it's not our business to get into the utility business, but I don't think that's what we're here to do.
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to give Blue Bay $40,000. That's what they're asking.
I second.
And I would also entertain discussion after the second. I'm not sure it's over. Does anyone want to discuss this?
So we're just gonna allocate the money and then they come before us and say.
Same way everybody, I don't think we can change now. We're too far along in this utility.
Right. We've already done it for everybody else.
That's correct.
Are you saying they will bring a plan to us?
Receipts.
Receipts.
Yeah, what we told them was, this was simply reimbursable money. We're not gonna spend any, we're not gonna give you any money, we're not gonna turn over any until you bring us what you've done to better your system.
So
They
they
all
all, same thing we've done for every utility district in the state.
Now, if someone volunteers like the other, I know like Bumpus Mills, Estes volunteered a bit. Now, is Andy Wynn, was he gonna do any digging or anything in the Little Bay area for replacing these pipes?
I think that's up to them.
I would, if they wanna make their money go as far as.
That's what I'm saying, other districts.
I agree with you, they should work.
That would be, that'd be smart if they did.
It'd be very smart, but
Yeah, I agree.
Charles?
I recommend you amend it to reflect that they gotta bring you a plan for the commission to approve. If you allocate these funds, like this is.
Will you make anybody else break a plan?
And I don't have a.
Not a plan,
I'm not
but
gonna-
receipts. That's exactly what we said for the other one.
Well, they need to show where that money's going.
That's what everybody else has to do.
That's right.
All right, I'll amend my motion.
it's just to make sure they bring receipts.
Second, put it in the middle.
Any further discussion? Guys, I'll take a roll call vote on this, that's a little bit.
Shane Cates,
Yes.
Eric Watkins,
Yes.
Terry Pitchu,
Yes.
Vince Gray,
Yes.
Archie Carter,
Yes.
Melissa Fields,
Yes.
Bradley Jones,
Yes.
Clint Mathis,
Yes.
Mark Dorch,
No.
Alexis Taylor, Elijah Thomas, Brian Teeber,
Good conscience, I can outvote for this on account of the shape my district is in with water. So the answer is no.
Justin Booth,
Yes.
Rick Joyner.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. So just give you a couple of, touch-ups on things. Hickman Creek, we're waiting on the ARAP permit, get some digging underway out there. It should be starting here in the next, we may get it back this week, and then we'll put everything out, I'll actually have to bring back a memorandum of understanding with them and the AASC, something similar to what we did at the ballpark, because it's core engineer property, so we'll have to have that, with that before we can even do any of the rest of it. We want to make sure that everybody understands exactly what's going to be done, how it's going to be spent. So, very excited about the CASA thing, guys. They're doing a great job in our community right now. This building they're buying is great. GMO Court is ecstatic on it. So, I know they thank you guys. Hopefully they get that all finished up. That's all I got. Is there any new business going around?
I don't know if it's much new business, but some people know, some people don't know. The duck pond runs was this past weekend, and I know when COVID hit, they got away with the in-person drawing. I would like to see whoever sits in these seats, or your seat, or whoever, fight to try to get that back in person. I know it'll probably never happen. They now have a new system, the state does. But I can remember going to that drawing as a kid, right? It's memories, but it's also money. That was a very big thing that this community looked forward to every year. And now that it's digital, it's not as fun. And it's, my kid, for example, we limit his time on in front of a TV or an iPad or whatever. But yet, it seems like more and more electronics getting pushed in people's face, right? So it's not new business really, because it's been this way for a long time, but I would hope that that's something that we could all fight for and agree on, is to try to get that back in person. I mean, you got to think at one point in time, before it went to digital, I don't think you could pack any more people in a high school gym. And all that was doing was bringing hunters here, they were spending their money here, they were eating here, they were buying their gas, and I hate to say it, buying their beer here. It's something we really need to look at, because that was a big loss for us.
I 100% agree. Mr. Chris Gwynn is sitting out there in the audience today, and I went to him in 2000, I can't remember what year it was, and I said, "Can I move the duck blind drawings over here?" And he looked at me like I was crazy, and I said, "They're standing out in the sun at Dover Elementary at the time. They're standing out in the sun getting baked and having a ball. Surely they'll come over here in the air conditioning and spend some more money." Again, he told me it was a terrible idea, and he was going out of town, and that I could have a building that day. I was a resource officer. I was like, geez. We did that the first year. I don't know how many sports and after-school activities we funded off those guys, but it was a bunch. So I met with TWRA Thursday. I met with their district supervisor. We drove the whole bottoms. This year, the bottoms are bad. They're bad because, we didn't, the TWRA says the weather never permitted them to put corn in the ground. And it's still wet. It's wet down there right now. And there were places that we would have normally got off in a truck when I was younger that you wouldn't have got off now. So I asked him what the long-term plan was, and their plan this year is to grow millet. But long term, he was very specific. They don't have a huge long term plan, and I asked him. I told him that we got with TWRA, we got a fisheries committee together, and that's going really, really well. And I asked him if we could do the same, and of course he obliged. But I mean, it's going to take some work. You know, I don't know what it's going to like. As far as the duck blind drawing, I don't think we'll ever get it back.
Jeff Hancock still holding down here at Bear Creek.
For Bear Creek.
That ain't TWRA, that's all right.
Yeah, last year, you know, he did. I don't know about that. Yeah, yes. So, but with that being said, I've said exactly what you said. You remember, we used to have 2,700 to 3,000 people file in this. And then every one of those guys were buying 2 or 3 licenses, however many they could afford. And it brought the TWRA a lot of money. But that gentleman was also correct as far as the TWRA goes. There we go. And yeah, no, I don't wonder why, but that's not my job. But yeah, but with that being said, they sell almost twice as many licenses online because these guys from Knoxville, Maryville, they can sit at home and sign their daughters and sons and wives up, and they never have to bring them here. They save that much more money doing that. He told me that 8 out of every 10 blinds was a past hunter, Stewart County native. In some sort, right outside of Clarksville, Fort Campbell, some of those guys. I don't know. I don't know the facts. I haven't got last Thursday was my first meeting, so that's as far as I've got. We met for 2 hours, and that's where we've got right now.
I'm fine with whoever hunts, but I still think it needs to be held in person. And if they're not gonna maintain it any better than what it's been maintained, and it's not. I mean, this has been a decline over years. This isn't something that just happened last night. You know, or a conversation happened last week, whatever. But this is something that I quit hunting whenever I was 18 years old down there because it wasn't working. You pay all this money, and what do you get in return? They don't care. It'd be nice to see it fixed. That's for sure.
We'll keep working on it for sure. I've been in contact with 5 or 6 citizens that have stated they'll be on the. If you guys get asked about the TWRA Fisheries Committee, I have their name list. It's not a governmental, we're not coming before us or anything. They're not making any, they don't get to make any decisions or any of that. It's just somebody that will help bridge the gap between us and TWRA. And it's going over really well so far. TWRA, we have a meeting, I can't remember the date is, but it's coming up pretty quick with them. They provide like market or something so that.
Is there, people, I mean, if they're having like meetings, can people come to them? Are they open meetings where the public can come to? How do we figure out when the meetings are?
I don't know, cause like I'm not gonna be, I mean, what their meetings are deciding is, you know, the things like they're gonna ask at the TWRA, like structure and what creeks are gonna have structure and things like that. So I'll get with the chairman of that committee. They did vote in a chairman for their own, but.
Yeah, I know it's not like our.
I know the secretary is R.D. Wallace. I don't know if you know R.D. R.D.'s the secretary. I can give you his or the chairman's number. Let's reach out to him. R.D.
We'll just go through.
That it? Business, whole business, everything. I just reiterate from the county commission that, you know, Bone, Vince, Ricky, thank y'all for the years of service, and we got a lot accomplished. We got a lot more to accomplish, but we appreciate y'all.
We did.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate you working with us, Mr. President.
Anyway, I just have one question because we went over it quickly. Why the whole courthouse thing was taken off of the agenda?
Why the whole courthouse thing? Tell me what. The cameras?
Yes.
Because we started on a policy, Judge Brigham, the Sheriff Gray, myself, and Charles met over what we are going to do with those cameras. The cameras and the systems right now reside with our IT guy. That's what you guys decided in an open meeting. That's where they're at. We have we had one incident where a lady, put in a records request, to myself and to the sheriff. It was the front door of the courthouse. We spoke with legal, and he spoke with his legal, and they decided it's the front door of the courthouse is open for a Freedom of Information Act. We cannot close that down. Now, the judge had, and the sheriff both had concerns about other cameras within the courthouse. And what we would like to bring back to you guys is something that would say, camera 1 through 5. Those are all Freedom of Information Act cameras. Those would be the 4 cameras outside, the 1 inside, or however many's outside. It's 4. But anyways, and then these cameras by number would be not open to that and would fall under the sheriff's jurisdiction. Because there's 2 different ways they could fall. So security cameras versus surveillance cameras, and that's where it becomes gray with state and federal government. And we don't want that to be gray. We want to bring you a policy. You guys look at it, either adopt it or ask for something else, or however that looks like, and then that becomes our county law. Because it is a little bit gray right now. He's done all the homework.
I'm just here to draw what the commission wants, but I think there are some questions. So when you get into surveillance cameras, that's somebody actively observing you, watching the cameras, and it's limited to security personnel. You get into the way it has been, there's more than just security that has access. So I think we gotta decide as a commission how we wanna go, which direction we wanna go, and I can try to build a policy. CTAS is of the opinion that it's all public record. It doesn't necessarily mean it's public accessible if the sheriff has it as a surveillance system, because there are some exemptions in the Public Information Act. But I don't want to write something and then we get challenged on it, cost the county money. So I'd rather make sure if anybody's got ideas, you're more welcome to call me, email me, or make a motion tonight. But just a quick policy of just giving it to somebody without researching what the commission wants. I don't think that's smart to just rush into it. So, like we did the first time.
We'll bring that policy back to you when it's ready.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?